Let's go to Cornell. Let's check this out. 18 U.S. Code 2101. Riots. Whoever travels in interstate of foreign commerce or uses any facility of interstate or foreign commerce, including but not limited to the mail, telegraph, telephone, radio, or television, and I will add internet, with intent, 1. To incite a riot. 2. To organize, promote, encourage, participate in, or carry on a riot. Or 3. To commit any act of violence in furtherance of a riot. Or 4. To aid and abet any person in inciting or participating in or carrying on a riot, or committing any act of violence in furtherance of a riot. And who either during the course of any such travel or use or thereafter performs or attempts to perform any other overt act for any purpose specified in subparagraph A, B, C, or D of this paragraph shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. Section B. In any prosecution under this section, proof that a defendant engaged or attempted to engage in one or more of the overt acts described in subparagraph A, B, C, or D of paragraph 1 of subsection A, and 1 has traveled in interstate or foreign commerce, or 2 has use of or used any facility of interstate or foreign commerce, including but not limited to mail, telegraph, telephone, radio, television, I will add internet, to communicate with or broadcast to any person or group of persons prior to such overt acts. Such travels or use shall be admissible proof to establish that such defendant travels in or use such facility of interstate or foreign commerce. C. A judgment of conviction or acquittal on the merits under the laws of any state shall be a bar to any prosecution hereunder for the same act or acts. D. Whenever the opinion of the Attorney General or of the appropriate officer of the Department of Justice charged by law or under the instructions of the Attorney General with authority to act, any persons shall have violated this chapter, the Department shall proceed as speedily as possible with a prosecution of such persons hereunder, and with any appeal to which may lie from any decision adverse to the government resulting from such prosecution. E. We scroll down. Nothing contained in this section shall be construed to make it unlawful for any person to travel in or use any facility of interstate of foreign commerce for the purpose of pursuing the legitimate objectives of organized labor through orderly and lawful means. Lawful. It's an interesting word, lawful. I wonder what that means. F. Nothing in this section shall be construed as indicating an intent on the part of Congress to prevent any state, any possession, or Commonwealth of the United States, or the District of Columbia from exercising jurisdiction over any offense over which it should have jurisdiction in the absence of this section, nor shall anything in this section be construed as depriving state and local law enforcement authorities of responsibility for prosecuting acts that may be violations of this section and that are violations of state and local law. Okay. Let's look at 10 U.S. Code 252, use of militia and armed forces to enforce federal authority. Whenever the President considers that unlawful obstructions, combinations, or assemblages, or rebellion against the authority of the United States make it impractical to enforce the laws of the United States in any state by the ordinary course of judicial proceedings, he may call into federal service of the militia of any state and use such of the armed forces as he considers necessary to enforce those laws or to suppress the rebellion. see. Oh, wow. 10 U.S. Code Chapter 13, Insurrection. There's a lot of subsections here. There's a few. Let's take a look at 10 U.S. Code 253, Interference with State and Federal Law. The President, by using the militia or the armed forces or both, or by any other means, shall take such measures as he considers necessary to suppress in a state any insurrection, domestic violence, unlawful combination, or conspiracy if it, 1, so hinders the execution of the laws of the state and of the United States within the state, that any part or class of its people is deprived of a right, privilege, immunity, or protection named in the Constitution and secured by law, and the constituted authorities of that state are unable, fail, or refuse to protect that right, privilege, or immunity, or to give that protection, or 2, opposes, or obstructs the execution of the laws of the United States, or impedes the course of justice under those laws. In any situation covered by Clause 1, the state shall be considered to have denied the equal protection of the laws secured by the Constitution. Okay. Let's go to 252. The use of militia and armed forces to enforce federal authority. Whenever the President considers that unlawful obstructions, combinations, or assemblages, or rebellion against the authority of the United States makes it impracticable to enforce the laws of the United States in any state, by the ordinary course of judicial proceedings, he may call into federal service such of the militia of any state, and use such of the armed forces as he considers necessary to enforce those laws or to suppress the rebellion. I will add that I watched, and now I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a Oklahoma representative who mentioned the Oklahoma militia consists of anyone between the ages of 17 and 70 or something to that effect. I'd have to look that up again. Proclamation to disperse. Whenever the President considers it necessary to use the militia or the armed forces under this chapter, he shall, by proclamation, immediately order the insurgents to disperse and retire peaceably to their abodes within a limited time. That's weird. To a limited time. That's interesting. Anyway, I thought I should, share some of the legalities of a little bit of law. I am not a lawyer. I studied political science, but political science, law, whatever, kind of go hand in hand. And I thought somebody should hear that, considering how nothing that has taken place within the past few months has been lawful or peaceful. Just a thought. Should probably stop. A conversation one of my professors and I had was, actually the professor and the entire class, when the last guy was in office, the majority of the other students in the class would say things like, I'm glad this guy's in office because we can get these things done. And the professor and I both sided with the same sentiment. What happens when a guy you don't like gets in office? Are you going to be pro or for that policy? And they really didn't have an answer. Well, now a guy they don't like is in office, and he's doing things that the last guy did. Well, now they don't like the new guy because of what the last guy did exactly the same thing, but now you don't like what the new guy did. Why? It's doing the same thing. What 3 people before that. No, the guy before, and you were against it. Whatever. If it weren't for double standards, right?